The company One by One has been a longtime friend of the Databits channel, and occasionally they send me products to review and share with you guys. And they're doing good. You know, some of the stuff that they do is really cool, and I like it, and I recommend it. And other stuff that they send me is, well, not so good. But a lot of the stuff that they do, and I like the fact that they do this, is what you would call retro tech. All right, some people call retro tech antique tech or vintage tech or classic tech. There's no such thing as a retro car. You know, I've never heard of anyone call it that before, but why would you call technology retro? Well, you would call it that if it's new, but it looks like something that's old. So, for example, if you see one of those jukeboxes that I think our favorite company, Crosley, makes them. It's a jukebox that looks like an old Wurlitzer, but it has a dock for an iPhone on it. That would be retro tech. And what you see here is also retro tech. It is something new that has the look and feel of something old. And when I first saw a picture of this, I was thinking those old Marshall amplifiers that you know, rockers plug their guitars into, something like that. And so this definitely has a retro look to it, and I was willing, based on its looks, to give it a shot, and that's what we're going to take a look at today. So let's open the box and see what this puppy looks like. And here she is, removed from its shipping container, and also noted here are the different accessories that are included with it. So we get the power supply, we get a 3.5mm cable to connect it to, you know, the auxiliary port to a tape deck or mini disc player. And here is your manual. So one of the things that's pretty striking about this is its clean look. Has a really strikingly good look to it. It's also heavy. It weighs 10 pounds, almost 10 pounds. The power supply outputs 15 volts and 3 amps. So that has to tell you something as to what is being fed into this thing for it to output some serious volume. It outputs 22.5 watts per channel. So essentially 44 watts, I guess 45 watts. It's 22.5. So the dimensions are 13.8 by 7.7 by 8.3. And for those who are metric, it's 35.2 by 19.6 by 21.1 centimeters. And it's 4.35 kilograms also on the metric system. So the Bluetooth specification is version 3. It has a 33-foot or 10-meter maximum Bluetooth range. And it also has a cool standby mode. So it will it'll shut itself off if it doesn't receive a power signal, a signal for audio. Okay, so let's take a look at this thing up close. We'll start with the control panel that's on the top. Here's your control panel. We'll start left to right. You've got a Bluetooth indicator as well as a power indicator, auxiliary in port for that cable that we just saw earlier, a basically track back button, a play pause button, which also doubles as the pair button, and the wake button, which also is the track next button. You got a volume control here, and as I turn this volume control, I feel a little bit of a I don't know, like little ridges in there. You can just kind of feel it. You know, it's not exactly stopping points, but it's got a little bit of resistance to it and a little bit of a tick, I guess you'd call it. Same thing for the bass control here, the treble control here, and an on and off switch there. So typically when you see an amplifier that has bass and treble controls, sometimes it means that it sounds better as a result of that because you have more control over the audio. So bass and treble versus a tone control, which in a lot of circumstances a tone control is just a treble cut anyway. So let's look at the rest of the unit here. You can see that the finish is kind of like a faux leather finish to it. It has a nice feel to it. The grill on the front has that pattern to it, like my parents' 1960s, 1970s stereo system, like those cardboard stereos that they made back in the day that kind of folded up and had the turntable and the speakers were all one piece, and you could pull the speakers off and put them aside. That kind of has that look to it there. It's heavy enough that I can't turn it around without using both hands, so let's change camera angles. Taking a look at the back of the unit here, you'll see that this is the standby mode. So you have power saver up on top and standard on the bottom. You have a DC 15 volt 3000 milliamp input right there, and a little sticker there indicating the make and model of the unit. And we'll go ahead and flip it over, and you'll see by looking at the bottom that the unit is ported. So it's ported hopefully for bass response, and it's got some pretty sturdy feet there on the bottom as well, almost like a piece of furniture. All right, so the next step would be to plug it in and see if we can get some sound through this. Let's turn the unit on and see what happens. So once we've turned it on here, it is ready to pair with my phone, and I'm going to use my Android phone for this test. Okay, so I've got my Android phone up here, and you can see that it's showing up on there as a 1x1 BS007, and I'm just going to go ahead and tap that and get synchronized here. And we appear to be paired. Now we just need some music. All right, here's a little tune that I've used on the databits channel several times. It's Pedro versus the World by the Jingle Punks. Let's hear what this sounds like. And I'll go ahead and skip around here through my songs here and pick something else for you to try. Yeah, one of my favorite songs. Should have something jazzy on here. Okay, so here's for the review part as far as the sound quality goes. Now, at the end there, you'll notice that the sound got a little stronger, and that's when I moved my microphone directly in front of the unit. I guess some things to talk about. I mean, both of the speakers are inside of this cabinet. So does it give you the realism of stereo? I think it does. It definitely feels like you're listening to something in stereo, even though it's all contained in one piece. The bass is a little boomy, a little boxy sounding, almost cardboardish in its makeup there. I don't know if you guys could hear that on your earphones, headphones, or speakers that you have connected to your computer or smartphone, but boomy on the bass. Although I like the bass, I like the fact that it has plenty of it. Treble is a little weak. I had the treble all the way up for that demonstration, and it was good. I mean, you could hear the high ends. Just wasn't very bright. The audio doesn't just it doesn't have that lifelike sound to it. Enjoyable though. The music that I was listening to through here sounded punchy. It had plenty of volume. I cranked the volume all the way up at one point off camera, and it didn't distort once I cranked it all the way up. So that means it would be good for, say, on a patio for an outdoor party or something like that. Would put out plenty of volume for that. I guess there's some uses that you could use for it. You might be able to use this as a guitar amplifier. If you hook your guitar into a preamp first, you could run it into the auxiliary in and actually use it for the purpose that it kind of looks like it's being used for. But again, there's no preamp inside, so you would need something in between. You could also hook up a turntable to it, and once again, you would need a preamp or a turntable with a built-in preamp, like the AT-LP60 Audio Technica or Technica turntable. Yeah, as far as the sound quality, I think it's decent, especially for a small room, maybe an apartment. It would be a really fun way to have a sound bar for a modern television and have a little bit of a retro look to the sound that's coming from the television. And obviously you'd have to hook it up via the auxiliary in. I'm not sure if televisions have Bluetooth output. Perhaps some of them that are designed to work with sound bars might have that capability. So do I give this a thumbs up or a thumbs down? I'm going to give it a thumbs up, and here's why. One, the style, the weight of it, it has a good solid feel to it. Really like the design of the unit, and the sound quality is good for what you're paying for here. So I would give it a thumbs up. Definitely better than the turntable, the classic wood turntable that they sent me as far as sound quality goes. I mean, you could really rock out with this particular unit. So there you go. There is my take on this product, and I recommend you go grab one. And if nothing else, get one for the older person in your family who remembers this look and feel of their electronics. So thank you for watching. Please subscribe to this video, share it with a friend, click that like button, and leave some comments down below. You can feel free to tell me I'm crazy for reviewing this thing. That's fine too. But just putting the information out there, and I'll let you guys make the buying decision. So again, thanks for being a subscriber, and we will see you next time.
What?